I've got a real beaut for you today. Somebody who we both know and love. I think this guy probably deserves his own action figure. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, who Trump said in his rally the other day, I love this guy. I mean, he's amazing. Not quite as much as Professor Nez, right? Professor Nez is a good guy, smart guy, but I love Stephen Miller. Thank you, Mr. President. I love you. He torches, obliterates, demolishes the media right to their faces. And this is something that I've been touting for a very, very long time. Watch this masterpiece.
Sad reflection on the state of our media and many of the outlets represented in this room that you obsessively try to shill for this MS-13 terrorist. Well, no coverage occurred in your papers about any of the Americans that were raped and tortured and murdered by the illegals that Biden was importing into our country. You know, you talk about due process. The Biden administration made the decision to give extensive due process to two trained Nicaragua terrorists that were apprehended at the border just a couple years ago. They were two gentlemen. They were from Venezuela. They were members of trained Nicaragua. The Biden administration Border Patrol apprehended them and made the decision to provide them with extensive due process, put them onto a program known as supervised release, and put them on ankle monitors so that they could go through a lengthy legal judicial determination as to whether these legal aliens who had just set foot on U.S. soil might want to live in the United States for the rest of their lives. What was the result of that decision? What was the result of that choice that was made? Those two men kidnapped a young girl named Jocelyn Ungary from her family. They beat her, they sexually assaulted her, they tortured her, they stripped her, they murdered her, and they dumped her body. That is what the Biden administration's policy was. Most of your papers never covered her story when it happened. To the extent that you covered it at all, it was because President Trump forced you to cover it by highlighting it repeatedly over and over again. He had to shame you into covering it. And each and every one of you that sides over and over again with these MS-13 terrorists, to the extent that you have the financial means to do so, you all choose to live in condos or homes or houses as far away from these kinds of gangbangers as you possibly can. If I offered any one of you a rent-free home with no taxes to pay in any of these gang neighborhoods, and I said your neighbors are MS-13 terrorists or Mexican mafia or Sinaloa cartel or trained Nicaragua, I couldn't pay you to live there. But yet you, with your coverage, are trying to force innocent Americans to have these people as their neighbors, and that one day their daughter may be abducted from their home and raped and murdered. So you're not going to get an ounce of sympathy from this administration or President Trump for the terrorists who've invaded our homes and our country.
Right to their faces. God bless you, Stephen Miller. It's no wonder Trump loves you so much. We love you so much. We support you. Thank you for putting Americans first. Thank you for doing everything that you can to create the greatest, most secure border in the history of our country. We also have this just to share with you, too. There was a new document that just came out where Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who they all want to travel to El Salvador and save him. You've got Van Hollow. And I mean, I haven't talked about him in a while. It seems like in ages, but he is an absolute abomination. But check this out. There was a motion for a protective order filed in 2020, okay, by his wife. And I'm going to share this with you right now. I want you to see this. Okay, and in this protective order, so this was another protective order where she was complaining about her ex-husband. And in this report, she said not only that he kicked me, here's the really important part, is this the bottom portion right here? He kicked me, he slapped me in the face, he threatened me, and then also in the highlighted area, I recorded that he told my ex-mother-in-law that even if he kills me, no one can do anything to him. So he bragged. This is the guy that the Democrats want to protect. This is the guy that the Democrats are traveling on our taxpayer dollars. Okay. God knows how much money they've wasted. Okay. And this is the guy they want to bring back into our country. They're fighting for gangs, murderers, rapists, the worst of the worst, the cancers of society. And this guy has, and by the way, I wonder, am I the only one here? I wonder, how does this guy, what kind of brashness and cockiness formulated in this guy that gave him the moxie, the balls to say something like this? I wonder if he knew something nobody else did. He says, even if I were to do away with you, unalive you, mortally wound you, end your life, there's nothing anybody can do to him. There's something going on with that report that just was unearthed and just broke, that I think there's more than meets the eye there. God knows, maybe the Biden administration, I wouldn't put it past him at this point. Maybe the Biden administration, maybe Kamala. Remember, she was the border czar. Oh, I got another great clip from Stephen Miller, too, about that. Maybe they offered some sort of impunity. I don't know. That is just immunity, rather, that, maybe would have exonerated him or laid him impervious to any criminal charges whatsoever. I hope, more comes out of this. I'll do some digging. I'll keep you posted on this. I'm always the guy who will break it to you first. I want to share this clip. So not only on top of that, I want to share this clip where Lindsey Graham asked President Trump's DA chief nominee about illegal immigrants and suspected MS-13 gang member Kilmar Abrego Garcia's knuckle tattoos. Watch this.
Based on your time as a DEA agent in the field, particularly in Mexico, these tattoos are consistent with MS-13 associations.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Do you know of any other set of combinations that would suggest some other organization this represents?
With this particular one, no, sir.
Remember Trump's ABC interview with that smug, narcissistic Terry Moran when Trump said, "You want to see the picture? What do you mean he's not MS-13?" He says, no, that was photoshopped. Mr. President, but I want to move on. No, that's contested. No, it's not true. And Trump just absolutely swallowed him up and forced him to look like an absolute clown lunkhead that he is. They just fight. They fight for the cancers. That's all they ever do. So let's get this straight about this Kilmar Abrego Garcia. So let me see this. So his ex-wife says he's a gang member. His current wife says he's a gang member. His hands say he's a gang member. 2 courts say he's a gang member. His very own gang says he's a gang member. The Democrats, what do the Democrats say? There's no evidence that he's a gang member.
He was arrested and swept up and flown out of the country to El Salvador as part of the government's Dragnet campaign against Tren de Aragua. But he had no criminal record, there were no outstanding criminal charges against him, and he had no association with any criminal gang.
I've known a lot of cockroaches and slimy, backstabbing, lion-ass degenerate LADs in my life. Ratty Raskin, man, this guy. I mean, there's a lot of them. I mean, there should be like an entire list that are given to children across the world. These are the absolute scum of the earth you want to stay away from. Ratty Raskin, Schiff, Swalwell, Maxine Waters. I mean, the list goes on. Omar. I mean, the list goes on. Crockett, for crying out loud. I know. The entire cast of the Spew, Anna Navarro. I got a video coming out with her pretty soon. Stay tuned for that. Holy mackerel. These people. This is the swamp vermin, folks. These are the people. And then guess what? Who came back? Guess what? Slithering, slimy, alcohol-intoxicated vermin came back. Mama Kamala. Kamala Mamala. She's back. And watch what Stephen Miller says, which, by the way, is extremely poignant, direct, and considerably efficient and accurate. Watch this.
The only thing Americans want to hear from Kamala Harris is an apology for joining Joe Biden. And remember, she was the border czar, joining Joe Biden in aiding and abetting the invasion of our country. And we're never going to stop talking about this, because what they did to this country is unforgivable. It is an eternal stain on the Democrat Party. Every day we read another story. Every day we arrest another alien they let into this country who raped a child, who beat a woman within an inch of her life, who murdered a mom, who murdered a dad, who trafficked drugs into this country, who trafficked fentanyl into this country, who are responsible for dead and slaughtered Americans. And I don't know what's broken in the Washington press corps, that none of that moves them emotionally. The only thing that gets them exercised is, do we need to have more trials for terrorist supporters? We need to have more trials for gangbangers. We need to have more trials for illegal alien invaders, even though Congress and the Constitution clearly say that you can expel invaders and illegal aliens quickly, efficiently, and properly. This president has literally saved America, and I could not be prouder. I could not be prouder, as I know Caroline feels the same way, to come every single day to this building where we have a leader sitting in office whose first, last, and every thought is the safety, prosperity, security, and sovereignty of the citizens. That's an important word, people. Citizens of this republic.
Man, but I'm telling you right now, this Stephen Miller cat, man, he really, really is someone who is going to be an all-star in the next 10, 20 years. You know, he's going to keep climbing the ranks. I think I could see him being even, you know, a presidential nominee in the next 5, 10, maybe 20 years, because he's spot on. And the beautiful thing is it doesn't matter if you're right or left. There is no right or left, really, when it comes to common sense, when it comes to the Constitution, when it comes to values and principles that are ingrained and imbued in the fabric of our country, that have produced all of these amazing civil liberties and freedoms that we sometimes take for granted, but we need to keep reminding ourselves. I love the way he said that that is going to be something that we talk forever about this, because I'm going to keep talking forever about this too. It is an eternal stain on this demented clan of anti-American Leninists. It is, and it will never go away, because they have destroyed our country. They literally, quite literally, destroyed our country. One of the hallmark pillars of the United States of America, of the people, for the people, by the people, we own the government. The government should be by us and for us. They serve us, right? And one of the pillars of that is we get to elect who we want representing us in the executive branch and in Congress, right? And so here's what the Democrats did. Here's what this party did, at least this recent iteration of the Democrats. They took a chainsaw to that. They essentially said, we know better than you. You guys are dumb. You're stupid. We're a bunch of elitist, narcissistic academics. I know this for a fact because I've worked with them. I know them better than any other commentator you're going to see. I have firsthand experience with these swine cockroaches. They literally, the only reason they let these people in and they threw out the red carpet for millions and millions of illegals is so that they could accelerate their pathway to citizenship, dump them in swing states, and alter the course of history and rig elections. Period. Point blank. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about our country. They don't give a rat's ass about anything other than two things: power and the maintenance and retention of that power. Period. I can't wait to get your thoughts and comments on this. Please let me know in the comments down below. I see you eyeing this one-of-a-kind, made in the USA design. You want to get this? We got hats, we got hoodies, we got shirts, we got everything. We got cups, mugs, you name it. The link to our Patriot shop is in the comments down below. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's free. We also have our free newsletter down there in the comments and description as well. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.